today for this segment of the Bronx River for the Tuckahoe Summer Solstice Celebration. My name is Erin Provenzano, and today I will be bringing you on a tour of the Bronx River. We'll be talking about what we see and how we can do better for the river. So come on, join me. Let's take a look around us. This is the stretch of the river right by going towards the old stone mill. And we're going to start here and we're going to go down towards Parkway Oval Park where the waterfall is, where the dam is. And you know, standing here right now, it may seem like nothing's really going on. It's pretty quiet. Might see a few flies. The water looks kind of clear but murky. There's a reflection of the trees. I'm just going to tilt the camera down. And as I tilt it down, what's below us gets clearer. It's pretty peaceful to see everything down here. And again, even though it seems quiet and like there's not much around, as you can see, there's a little damselfly that just flew by. And there are a bunch of different creatures that we may not even be able to see with our naked eye. And there are a bunch of creatures underneath those rocks and sticks, sediment, that are so important to the health of the river. So it may not seem very appealing at first, but if you take time and you look closer, you see that there's so much more to the Bronx River than maybe you've noticed before. So I'm also going to take a look as I move my camera. Do you see that little rectangle in there? That doesn't look natural. That doesn't look like it was there, meant to be there. It doesn't look like the rock or the sticks or even those little shells, if you can see them. What I'm going to do, oh, and do you see that little fish down there? There's a little fish that just swam by that rectangle. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take that rectangle out and let's see what it is. So this is what I found. I honestly thought it might be something like styrofoam. It looks like it's a type of stone, it might be marble even, but what's interesting is, do you see what's on it? It's like a type of flatworm. I don't exactly know what type of worm that is, but as you can see, it's using this stone for a substrate that it's crawling onto. It's very interesting. It's definitely a stone of some sort. Just wanted to share that with you. You see? You'd never guess that something would be on this stone, but there you go, that little worm. So I take one look behind me and I pause at that rusty looking thing. Doesn't seem like it's supposed to be here. Let's see what that is. So this is what that was. When I first looked at it, I thought it might be some kind of scrap metal, but it's a very old plastic bag. We don't know how long this was in here, but as you can see, it was in here for a while. And you know what hasn't really happened since it's been in here? It hasn't broken down. And what happens is, as it does not break down, this ends up harming the wildlife around here. There might be birds or fish, other wildlife, you know, raccoons, that might mistake this as something, might mistake it as food or shelter, and then they end up harming themselves. You can see right now, that's a little snail. There's a snail on here. And, you know, it doesn't know that it's on a plastic bag. It might think that it's on a stone or a stick. and it's on here. And we don't want these to be littering our waterway because it harms the wildlife. We still got a ways to go, so let's keep walking. As you can see as we're walking, the river varies in depth level. Currently, I'm up to my thighs in the water. Hi. I just want to turn the camera around. I have a little stick with me just to stabilize in case, you know, there's any difference in the substrate below me. Right now I'm standing on a lot of rocks, so it's pretty stable, but some parts of the river are kind of murky and have a lot of sediment, so I want to make sure that I'm stable. I'm also wearing waders, as you can see, and they're all the way down. I have little boots on. They cover me so that I can be in this water and be fully protected. See, the Bronx River has a history of being polluted, and as you can see from a few of the shots I just took, there are things you can see like plastic bags, styrofoam, but there's also a lot of things you don't see. Sometimes there are pollutants in the water, including raw sewage that's really dangerous for us, and we can't swim in this. You know, we don't want to harm ourselves. So I always make sure when I go into the Bronx River that I have gloves on, that I have full gear on, because I don't want to harm myself, and I want to be able to do what I need to do, removing different waste, while also taking precautions against anything. So I just wanted to share that with you, that I always need to be prepared and need to be protected before I come into the river. So I'm gonna walk this way, kind of zigzagging across the river. This caught my eye. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Looks like a pad of some sort. That doesn't look natural. Does it look natural to you? I don't know what the pad is from, but it's just floating down the river. I'm gonna take that. I'm walking up to this. Again, some debris below me. Some of it's organic. You can see there's a type of plant in there. And you see some shells. Pretty cool. There are freshwater clams in the Bronx River. Did you know that? I didn't know that until very recently. And as you go farther down the Bronx River, it empties out in the Bronx by Hunts Point, and there are actually oysters, mussels, because that's opening out into an estuary, which is brackish water, salt and fresh water. So the Bronx River changes as it goes from the top, from the beginning of the Bronx River up in Kensico, by Kensico Dam, all the way down to Hunts Point in the Bronx. It changes many stages along. It's 23 miles. So I'm just gonna stop here for a second, and I see there's some debris here again. Some of it's organic, some of it's not organic. I can tell that there is a plastic bag right in front of me. Let me pull that out. Literally within seconds, I collected a bunch of plastic bags. And again, they don't break down. Look what else I found. A feather. So you see there's a difference between the organic and plastic things that I'm finding in the river. There's good debris and there's bad debris in the river. And we can make a choice about all of it. Wow. Now this, you see this below us? Looks like a bed stand. I don't know how that got in the river. And here's obviously a plastic can, or an aluminum can rather, and more of that foam that I found before. And even a bottle cap. Do you see that bottle cap? If you look amongst those, and I can see even a plastic container, I'm gonna take all those out. As I keep walking, I'm just gonna keep picking things up. And at the end of this video, I'll show you what I found. I'm standing here, I want to tell you that if you're interested in doing more for the river in Tuckahoe, there are many opportunities. Tuckahoe has had a number of cleanups of the Bronx River in the past couple of years, and even before that there have been many cleanups of the Bronx River. And there was a riverkeeper sweep that was scheduled for this past May, which was postponed due to the pandemic, but they're planning on having it rescheduled for October. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because we will be doing a riverkeeper sweep here in Tuckahoe of the river. And you can help out. You can bring your gloves. Actually, gloves will be provided, bags will be provided, and there will be a bunch of ways you can help and clean the river. Can you see these little water skimmers? They may not seem like much, but it's all part of the greater ecosystem of the river. Again, I thought I saw a fish before. We'll just have to keep our eyes peeled. You know what happens too? Natural debris, like these trees, fall down. And though it's okay, oh, look at this beautiful dragonfly right on the branch, perched there, gorgeous. Though it's okay that the tree falls down and it naturally decomposes, that's all fine and good. What happens is then it's a catch-all for garbage that comes down the river. You see there's a jug. I see another bottle popping up over there. I see a plastic bag again. So even though there's some organic matter that's intertwined in the tree, a lot of garbage gets stuck in it too, and it just collects there. So I'm in the process of cleaning up, the bottles and other. I see even a little cap over here. You see this green, these little green dots? That's called duckweed. And in small amounts, in healthy amounts, they're very good for the river. The fish eat it. It helps, with oxygenating the water. It's actually very good. But I don't know if you've ever seen. Have you ever seen a pond, for example, and the pond is covered in green? You can't even see the water below it. Many times it's covered by this duckweed. And when the whole pond is covered with that, it ends up actually choking out the oxygen. And then the water below dies out, basically. The oxygen levels die out because it's become too eutrophic. And it's not healthy then, because then the fish and other wildlife below the surface can't breathe. And many times why that happens, why the ponds are covered in this duckweed or other algae, is that runoff, so fertilizer and high nitrogen that get into the water, end up creating more of this, and the algae grows and grows, and then with all of that, then it chokes out the water beneath it. So again, everything in moderation. Seeing this is good, it's good for the wildlife in this amount, but again, in those ponds that are covered with a thick sheet of it, that's not good, and it's because of the runoff that goes into the pond, and then it grows too fast, and it ends up choking out the wildlife beneath it. And I'm standing here, and at first sight, just the bank of the river, right? Where the water meets the banks. And if I really pan slowly, at first glance you may say, oh, I see a bunch of different plants, but let me go back a little bit and see how many things you can spot right now. Make a tally mark. Wherever you are, make a tally mark of how many things you can see. You might have to look at this video many times to see all of them. But this is only a number of feet that I'm taking a video of right now. And I can see a gum wrapper. I can see another wrapper. I can see a plastic bag. It's really hard to see, but it's in there. Again, another wrapper I see. Plastic bag, styrofoam. And that's just what I'm seeing right now. A lot of what I don't see are microplastics. And again, Mike had mentioned that in his video as well. So even though I see a lot of things I'm taking them out of the river, it's what we don't see that's very harmful. Those microplastics that end up, the wildlife ends up ingesting it, and then we ingest the wildlife, and then it harms us. So it really starts with us to take these things out, and not only take them out right now, but prevent them from even getting here in the first place. And here we go again. Keep on walking down. Actually, I think I might have to stop because I'm up to my waist now in the water. It went from very shallow up there to now pretty deep. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop out here, walk down the path alongside the river, and then I'm going to just jump back in right before the waterfall to show you. Right around this bend is where the waterfall is. Let's see what's down there. So as you can see, I came out of the water over there. Now I'm just gonna walk down this path. We're gonna go to the waterfall. Literally steps away from where I was. Steps. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25 to 30 steps to this receptacle where all the trash was thrown away. Let's go back to the water. Hi! So this is my full suit. As you can see, I'm a little bit dirty. After I get out of here, I'm gonna take a shower because again, I wanna make sure that I'm all clean after being in this water. I love the river very much. I love the water very much, but again, I don't know what kind of contaminants are in here, and safety comes first. So I'm wearing this little ensemble to make sure I'm fully covered. My little boots down there. So now I'm gonna go back into the river, and we're right by the water, as you can see. So let's go in and we'll crawl under there. Aha! The mystery of this foam. This is the third piece of foam I found, and it falls apart too. That's not good. That's not good. Taking that out of there. And look, before I even go in the water, what is this over here? Oh, it's a top of some kind. It's top. And this looks like a straw or a pen, maybe a pen or a straw. Even this is like to hold. See that? It's in there. It's in the banks. I told you. Some of these things are just embedded. You see all this stuff that's embedded. Look, I can't even get this out. I cannot even get this out. It's so embedded in there. That's not good. Let's see if I can try to get it out. There we go. See how hard it was to get that out? It got embedded in the bank. That's not good. And all this plastic. You may not see this with the naked eye, but it's not good. Look at that. It's like never ending. This was on a package. How did it get down here? Again, referencing the street trash episode. This is a straw. If you don't already, get yourself a reusable straw. You don't want these in the waterway. They're terrible. Look at all these wrappers. And this is just in the bank. We haven't even gone back in the river yet. So as you can tell, it all washes up and it's just stuck in here. Stuck, and it's little. See how little these little plastics are? It's terrible. Chokes out the wildlife. And also, it's not pretty to look at. Who wants to look at these wrappers when they're sitting along the banks? Styrofoam. This is terrible. Styrofoam's awful. Cigarette butts. As you saw in Mike's video, a bunch of them on the street. How do they get down here? I mean, someone might have been smoking down here. Many times, it's on the street that comes down here. This is glass, see? Very dangerous. You could step on that and hurt yourself. It's just a pile I'm collecting of all this garbage. Let's go in the water now. Again, I have only gone down a small path of the river. I found so many different things already. Let's see what else we can find. So you can see a rubber band or a plastic band of some sort. More plastic, rubber. This is a brick. I'll leave the brick in there, but kind of crazy. Another dangerous thing. Not only is this a top, it's still attached to the glass. Shards all in this river, and that's really not good. It's just dangerous. It not only can hurt you, it can hurt the wildlife. They can get sliced by this too. Very dangerous. I'm actually gonna put this back in the things. And this is a Haagen-Dazs. I know it's summer and I love ice cream, believe me. But if you're gonna eat one of those ice cream pops, throw it away. Throw away the package. There's no need for it to go on the street. In here, this is hot sauce from the Chinese restaurant. And look down here. This is some kind of rubber ceramic thing. Let's go under this tunnel. You stop. You see? You see? You look really close. You see those little fish? That's the wildlife in the Bronx River. They're living here. This is their home. And if we don't take care of it, we're hurting them as well. And those little fish, they may grow into big fish, they may stay little, but no matter what their size is, no matter what we can see with our naked eye, there's so much living in this river. And we need to protect it and to preserve it for not only them, ourselves, and it's just so important. Under this tunnel. A glass bottle. This is very dangerous stuff I'm finding. Some more. This. first glance, you may think, oh, there's nothing wrong here. There's nothing polluting this river. But you can see, look, there's this beautiful landscape. How serene that is. Just tilt the camera down a little bit. What is that? That's not supposed to be there. So it shows that it's important to observe and become aware of our surroundings, because this junk ends up affecting natural beauty around us. You may come here, you may walk here, you may run here, you may bike here. You may just be glimpsing at the river. You may not really be taking account of what's here. Look, there's birds that hang out on its face. You see a swan all the way back there? It's pretty far out, but gorgeous. What's here? What you can observe. How important it is. So when I get in the middle, one last escape before I say goodbye today. That was where I was when I was walking up the river. Around that bend was where I started. If I turn the camera, this is my view in front of me. This dam, the bird there, looking for some food. You can see all around. This is the view from inside the river. Look at how gorgeous that is. I just want to remind you that you can become a part of this as well. Like I told you, Tuckahoe has had many cleanups and it hasn't ended. We were supposed to have one in May. We're planning on having one in October 2020. So keep your eyes peeled. Please go to the TESC Tuckahoe website, Tuckahoe Environmental and Sustainability Committee. We have a bunch of different initiatives that I'm sure you're learning about this weekend with the Summer Solstice program we're doing. But also just keep in touch. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Join our mailing list. All this information is in the description below this video. So please, I encourage you to get involved, and it starts with you. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on the Bronx River. So as you can see, I'm just one person, and this is a very small stretch of the 23-mile-long Bronx River that stretches from Tuckahoe Dam all the way down to Hunts Point in the Bronx. It is flowing through both Westchester County and Bronx County, and it's such an important, it's New York City's only freshwater river. This is a vital ecosystem. And it's important that we band together to help clean it. Because again, today I'm alone. I'm by myself, and I only got to do minimal cleaning. But if more people were here, they'd be cleaning too. And not only that, it's not so much about the cleaning up, right? It's great to do cleanups. I love cleaning up the Bronx River. It's awesome. But I'm happier to see that it doesn't need to be cleaned up, that we don't need to be cleaning up its banks and getting stuff out of it that could be hurting the wildlife and ourselves. That's a danger to it. making sure that things don't run off into it, dangerous chemicals, raw sewage, you know, thinking about what goes into that water, thinking about what you put on your lawns, thinking about what you throw out your car window. Whenever you choose convenience over compassion, it usually doesn't help anyone, including yourself. So before you throw something away carelessly, really think about it. Where can I toss this? Can I hold on to it? Do I have a plastic bag in my car that I could put it into? Do I need to just throw it on the ground? Really think about things. Also, before you buy something, think about its packaging. Can you recycle the packaging? Can it only be thrown into a landfill? Really being a conscious consumer, that's the first step in all of this. Making sure that those things that you buy don't end up on these banks. Choosing filtered water over buying bottles of water. You know, choosing things with less packaging to begin with. By being a conscious consumer, you're very eco-conscious. And it all starts with you. So again, I hope you join us on the river, hopefully in October, and enjoy this natural beauty we have around us. Become more aware, and it's waiting for you.